Welcome to Speaking of Entrepreneurship, a podcast powered by the Center for Entrepreneurs at Cuyahoga Community College's Corporate College. Here, we dive into real conversations with industry experts, innovative founders, and business leaders who share their insights, challenges, and strategies for success. Whether you're launching a startup, scaling your business, or just exploring the entrepreneurial mindset, this is your space to learn, adapt, and thrive.
Hello, my name is Heather Holmes Dillard, and here with me today at Tri-C Center for Entrepreneurs is RaShaun Brown, the founder and CEO of Screen Skinz. This company manufactures the only patented phone screen protectors that feature custom logos or slogans that are visible when the phone screen is black, but then disappear when the phone is in use and turns on. Screen Skinz, so I'm told, is a startup business and has recently raised over $1.5 million in capital and secured licensing deals with every professional sports league, association, entertainment brands such as Disney, so much. And you've also partnered with Zag, who is the global leader in screen protection and mobile accessories. And you and your business partner are not even anywhere close to 40 years old. Welcome, RaShaun.
Not close to 40.
That is so awesome and impressive. So tell me about your story, your journey.
I'm originally born in Youngstown, Ohio. Was back and forth between Columbus and Youngstown just because my family was there. And then my mom, she was living in Columbus at the time. She had me young, single mom, so she kind of leaned on the grandparents to help raise me a little bit. So around sixth grade, I moved to Columbus for good. Mm-hmm. And, I think that's kind of the start of my story because I believe that it's just like exposure, right? Mm-hmm. Like exposure to different things I didn't see in Youngstown. So, getting to Westerville in Columbus, the suburb in Columbus, and, acclimating to that new group of friends and seeing, families mm-hmm. and big houses and, people just, having dreams, goals, aspirations. It kind of just changed my outlook on life. And ultimately, it helped me get to college, having friends that were going on college visits, et cetera. And, that's kind of how all of it started for me.
I always like to say and tout how I feel like exposing any kid from any background is really the key to allow children to dream. So I'm really interested in this. So what kind of things were you exposed to?
Yeah,
that led you into entrepreneurship?
Yeah, I think that you don't really know that you're entrepreneurial. You can mm-hmm. have ideas, you can think of things. But for me, my motivation was that, again, I grew up, single mom, grandpa always worked. So that was kind of mm-hmm. I just knew I just have to work. I have to work. But I hadn't seen anyone go to college or any of those things. But again, being exposed to that, I knew that was possible. Mm-hmm. So, again, I had these ideas that I'm going to go to school. I'm going to be a lawyer. I like to argue. Everyone tells me I like to argue. I'm going to be a lawyer. I'm going to do all these different things.
I'm going to be a lawyer when I grow up, my next job. Okay.
Exactly. So that's kind of where the seeds were planted, right? And then I think, again, from there throughout my journey, it was people seeing value in me and pouring into me, mm-hmm. seeing things that I didn't really see mm-hmm. in myself. I didn't know, again, I was going to go to college. No one in my family had done it yet mm-hmm. before me. But then I'm seeing other people do it. Then their moms and their dads mm-hmm. oh, you can do this. Come on this college visit. Do these different things. So mm-hmm. that's kind of where those seeds were planted of you can do more than what I saw and what I was exposed to previously.
So you went to college and you got a degree in sports management. Mm-hmm. How do we go from managing sports and in the sports industry to now phone accessories?
It's interesting, but again, I think everything kind of has a purpose and it aligned. Mm-hmm. So at Ohio University, their sports program is number one in the world, undergrad, and then the sports administration graduate program, which I got into. So when I was in undergrad, again, wanted to work in sports, didn't know exactly what I want to do, but everyone wants to go into sales and these different things. Mm-hmm. I'm just I want to get a degree. I'm just going to figure it out as we go. So after that, going through school, my senior year is trying to apply for jobs, trying to, get a job anywhere in sports. So I went to a career fair and, interviewed, scared that you don't bomb it, scared that if you do get interviewed, you are going to bomb it. But ultimately, I ended up getting a role with the Big East Conference.
Okay.
So I moved to New York right after undergrad, and I was there pretty much on the basketball ops side. So I was helping Tracy Ellis Ward and Stu Jackson. Like, it's crazy going out of college to the Big East. And, I had 2 African-American bosses. That was
very
really
unique.
Yeah, very unique. And I would never forget the advice I had, and that was the bridge between grad school. And my boss, Stu, was just like, hey, whatever you do, when you come in here, you go into any job in the future, keep everything buttoned up. Don't give anybody anything to say about you besides that. You do work. And that was one of the things that stuck with me. And I went back to grad school and then went, that program again, top in the world. And what I did was I had an idea to create a keyboard. So this is my first business. I'm going to kind of hit on this. I had an idea to create an emoji keyboard, and that kind of got me into licensing because I wanted to create emojis that I actually identified with your, like, whatever if you're, again, like a Celtics fan, right? You have the 4-leaf clover emoji.
Excuse me, sir. We're in Cleveland. Cavaliers.
If you're a Cavs fan. But just put it in perspective, right? The 4-leaf clover emoji can mean good luck. It can mean Boston Celtics. It could mean, it can mean so many different things, but there was no way to hyper segment the audiences. So that was one of the ideas I had in grad school.
That's really cool.
I don't know why I had that idea, but when I got it, it was one of those things like, hey, we're going to figure it out. Me and my business partner, at the time he was in my entrepreneurship class at OU. He could code. I didn't know how to code. So I'm like, I want to figure this out. But we did that, and that got me exposed to licensing. And then, fast forward, how that trying to translate it to Screen Skinz was that business failed because Apple updated their keyboard, so you couldn't really add third-party keyboards, but I was able to build licensing relationships. So fast forward from grad school, I'm at Texas A&M.
Okay.
I'm working there after grad school in development, raising money, and I get a call. This is a little bit before the pandemic.
Okay.
I get a call from Maurice Claret, played football at Ohio State. Maurice called me. He's like a close family friend.
Too, just so you know. Okay.
He's a close family friend, like an uncle to me. And he said, hey, I met this kid who's trying to, etch things into screen protectors, and I think that your experience in licensing and stuff can help him. I said, screen protectors? No, I'm not doing that. Because I didn't think about it. I mean, it's practical. I never thought about it. But, ideas that are really good like that, and I think that, have some type of value, it seems to chase you down. So the pandemic hit, and I had time away from the office, as we all did. We were all at home trying to figure out what to do, whether it was reading books or going on runs, trying to stay sane. I went into an accelerator because I wanted to learn more about business, because I wanted to bring my emojis back. I'm like, we got to figure this out. I went back to the screen protectors and I said, this is actually a lucrative market. It's a big market opportunity. Can we actually do this?
So you did research.
I did research
to figure out, okay, what is the market?
What I learned was it's a $10 billion market in the U.S., $50 billion market globally.
Wow.
And no one was personalizing screen protectors.
No.
So we looked at it and I said, okay.
Cases, yes.
Cases, yeah. Yeah, cases, yeah. But no one was personalizing the front of the phone, which we look at a lot, and we're buying these screen protectors to protect our device, our screen, from breaking. Right. So after that, I said, you know what? I called Maurice back and I said, yeah, I'll do it. Introduce me to the kid. So I met Clay, who's my co-founder. He lived in Florida. So from April of 2021 on, I haven't gone a day without talking to him.
Oh. So when did he develop?
So he developed that. He was in his parents' laundry room.
Okay.
I met him. Clay was a sophomore in college at his community college when I met him. So he started doing this in high school, and I met him when he was in community college, and I was working at Texas A&M, obviously through Claret. So I told him, I said, hey, I don't know how this is going to work, but I think I can make it work. If you want licenses, I can get you licenses. But as far as running a business, I don't think that we both know how to run a business, but I want 50-50.
Look at you. Okay. And so from there, the two of you are working hand in hand. And
we're working hand in hand. Within 2 weeks and a few emails, again, because I've got into this space and I had the relationships, we were licensed within every major sports league besides the NFL. We weren't licensed in the NFL yet. And, from there, the product hit the market. We were bringing inventory in from China, just doing it between, he's in Lakeland, I'm in Houston, in College Station at the time. And I said, you know what, we actually need to learn how to run a business. And then there was another accelerator happening in Houston by this company called Dev Inc., this organization, Dev Inc. And I said, Clay, you have to come live with me for a little bit while I'm working so we can do this accelerator. And he moved and stayed with me in 2021. And we did a 6-week accelerator, and then we raised our first 500,000. And that's how we got the company off the ground.
So you have a vision of your own company, still trying to figure that out. An opportunity is presented to yourself. You do some research like, okay. But then you have the wherewithal to know, okay, I know how to do this, but this other part, we may need some more coaching, more help. And so, what process did you go through in selecting which programs to do, some of this continuing education, these accelerator programs?
For us, it was rooted in sport because that was my domain expertise, right? Like I think any, when we start a company, like you really have to have some type of expertise in that field, right? Like I can't go and say, I'm gonna start an AI company tomorrow. I don't know too much about AI, right? So, but we were rooted in sports, and this accelerator was happening. It felt good to me because it was supporting minority founders. And, I didn't see too many people like me in the space. But then when I got in that program, I seen a lot of us. And everyone was going through the same process, understanding the same pain points, the same things. And it just felt good.
You found your little community.
Yeah, we found our community. And from there, it was just like that was what propelled us. But then understanding from there, okay, now we know the fundamentals of how to run a business, right? Looking at from, market, you have, your strategy, your business plan, you have things, but that's like things that everyone knows that you have to do, the basics, right? But there's the things in between that we didn't know. It's just like.
So talk to me about those things that you didn't know. Give me an experience that you may have had, an obstacle you overcame, and what you did to overcome it.
The first one was that, we had to build relationships with our manufacturers in China. Like, we don't like, we never, that was,
are you
this
flying
very important.
there?
No, this is all like via WhatsApp and, WeChat and, all the community. So we're just talking, in the world, it was like at this point was still just now opening up after that point. But, that was like the first thing that we didn't know. Then it was just like, okay, how are you going to raise money? And it was just like, okay, I've raised money for universities and athletic programs and everything else, but I never raised money for like myself for a company. So that was weird. But then also I think the biggest thing that again made us attractive, like even for that in the middle of just like, I had to go sell the vision to people smarter than me that I can pull in with us that can help us build this. So that turned into us recruiting a couple of advisors from Nike, from Apple, and Hasbro and NFL. And so you're just like, so that was when
How do you get in those rooms?
LinkedIn, cold messaging people on LinkedIn and people, referring you and introing you to other people. So, for me, that was the aha. Like when we got our Apple advisor, I said, there's no way a guy from Apple that's leaving Apple is going to really come and join us. And we're not paying him. He's taking equity. So there's actually there's
something to this.
So again, we use that as leverage to go, raise the capital, and, investors were happy. Like, okay, you guys have these licenses, you have this team that you're building, you have this product in the market, and you're getting a little bit of traction. So you're getting some revenue. So it's a good idea. So that's kind of how we got to that point to push where I'm like, I'm going to leave my job to go into this because now, one, I can pay myself, and then two, we have people that actually are going to align with us. So they're going to walk us into those doors that we couldn't
do. But there has to be some correlation between, obviously there's a correlation between your background in sports management, your love for sports, the licensing that you were able to do, but also like your skills that you developed in doing development and raising money for a institution and programs. Was the ask different, or was the baseline of telling the story kind of the same?
The ask was the same. The story was different because I'm not selling Texas A&M anymore. I'm selling myself. And a lot of people, and until this day, even if my first couple investors didn't give me money, I valued the relationship over the money. And a lot of people will try to just go into those type of conversations or raise capital. You just I want money. No, relationships are far more important than capital. That social capital is very valuable and has been valuable to me and to the company because, again, that's got us to where we are. We've brought in, executives, again, from Apple, Amazon, Hasbro. And again, they walked us into rooms that we wouldn't have gone in ourselves, and we weren't paying them or they weren't giving us money. They were just, there to, mentor us and walk us in and support us. And that was, to me, more valuable than any of the money that I've raised.
This is so interesting. I mean, and you talk about selling yourself versus selling a product. Like, this is a new product. This is a product that does not exist anywhere in the world. But, I appreciate how you're saying you kind of do have to sell yourself too, because people support people first.
Yeah, and
right?
it goes back to what I told you my boss said, at the Big East, keep yourself buttoned up and allow people to just see that you do the work. So I think people saw that, they saw the vision, they saw the passion, but you're betting on an individual. And, and my personality as well, they know that I'll do anything to make sure that I'm following through on what I said I was going to do.
Tell me in your words, what do you feel makes a successful entrepreneur versus one who may not be successful?
I think just the ability to be agile, be flexible. I think that you have to be able to pivot. We all are going to think that we have a great idea or a good idea, but it may not be
i.e. emojis.
Yeah, the best idea, right? But it's being coachable, understanding that you're going to learn from people, from experiences, and again, college emojis, right? The emojis, they didn't work, but I failed forward, and that pushed me into another opportunity. So it's okay to pivot. It's okay if the first idea didn't work. It's just a point of staying consistent in doing the work, because you learn so much in the experiences that you don't realize that you're learning, while you're going through it. I didn't know anything about, supply chain logistics in Asia, manufacturing, any screen protection. I know it the back of my head now because I've gone through it. Is there a problem? I have to solve it. Another problem, I'm solving. Another problem, I'm solving. I'm adding that knowledge into my toolkit.
So what's next? What's 5 years from now?
5 years from now, for me, I do honestly believe that we'll end up selling the company. Okay. I think that's what we've built it for, to sell it. We know that we can get it to a certain point, but then a bigger company is going to come in and take us. But I want to really, everything is still, for me, is rooted in giving back. I understand the privilege I've had and people that poured into me. So I want to invest in other Black entrepreneurs. I want to invest in other companies. I just kind of want to stay aligned in this space. If another idea comes, I may chase it. But right now, that's really what I'm looking forward to most, is just being able to share the knowledge, because again, going through those LinkedIn messages, there's some people that didn't respond to me or didn't give me, the time of day, but I know what it's like to go through and try to figure that out and want people to, give you advice. So I'll always try to give someone at least 15 minutes, even if it's a bad idea or a good idea. I just know what it's like to try to, have an opportunity for someone to listen. Yeah.
So you say, what's next for you, hopefully to sell but stay in this space. Do you find this path of entrepreneurship, looking for another business to invest in, to be fruitful versus, starting an idea from scratch?
I think
Is it easier or same kind of challenges?
I think it depends on the industry for me. Right now, I'm I'm advising a few companies that I've learned on my journey to make it easier for them. I built a bridge and I made it an easier bridge for them, right? Per se. But for me, I'm learning so much within licensing, within, again, manufacturing, within, again, and having the resources and the network to do a lot of different things. So for example, yesterday I closed a deal to get licensed for my fraternity, Kappa Alpha Psi.
Okay.
So I have their license now, and I'm going to help them revamp their licensing program and offer more diverse and premium products. And it's like a side project, but again, the knowledge that I have is something that can help other organizations or other people or other businesses. So I'm open to doing those type of things. Okay,
rapid fire. Top 3 tips that you would give to an entrepreneur of any age, at any phase of their business, top 3 things that you would advise them to do.
If you have an idea, chase it until it doesn't work or it does work. Because I think that'll allow you to either accomplish something or you're going to fail forward into something else like me. I would say, don't be afraid to ask questions or ask for mentors or sponsors. I think that is going to be critical to anyone's development. Again, like I'm a kid from, Youngstown, Columbus. I didn't know anything, no family, college, nothing, but I sought out mentors. I sought out, sponsors that invested in me. And I think, and that gave me the confidence to see that, oh, I can do these type of things. And then the third, I would say, is just do the work, be consistent. Like that's really what it comes down to, is just perseverance and resilience. Just do the work.
Awesome. Well, thank you, RaShaun.
Thank you.
And thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to today's podcast, brought to you by the Center for Entrepreneurs at Corporate College. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, rate, and share with fellow entrepreneurs. Tune back in to stay connected with us for more insights and resources to help you build, innovate, and thrive.